Hi, so this assignment is to help you to practice quoting properly. I'm going to go ahead and show you something similar to what you're going to be doing, just so you can get an idea of how I want you to turn in the assignment. So you're going to get a document that looks something similar to this. The first thing I want you to do is to actually go ahead and open up your own Word document, and in your own Word document go ahead and start creating Mla format, which is to say you're going to want to have a header in here with your last name and then the page number. You can either do it where it puts the automatic page number in there, or you can manually do it, and since I know this is not going to be more than one page, I'll just manually do it and then shift it over to the right. And then the next aspect you're going to do is just go ahead and put information in here, your name, and then the class, and potentially the date. It all depends on you. I'm not really particular on what you put there. And then maybe an idea as to what this assignment is, which is quoting practice. And we'll go ahead and center that and get started. So for this quoting practice, it's actually in bullet points, so I can actually start it with my bullet points here. And it asks me on this assignment, quote the bolded sentence from the speech address at Gettysburg by Abraham Lincoln on page 7. So 1 through 4 have all to do with what's in the box right here. It says the bolded sentence from the speech, and it's all below, so it's all right here. And then number 5 is the box below, and 6 is the box below. So just make sure that you're reading the instructions carefully. So it says the bolded sentence, not all the sentences. That's also important, as well as who said it, as well as what page it's found. So you shouldn't have to do any kind of outside research. Everything is provided in the worksheet. So it asked me just to do a normal quote for this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this to make it easy for me. And your tagline, which should be included in all of them, but in particular, it doesn't have to be that, perfect for this assignment. For an essay or something, it would be obviously better. But as long as you at least have something like Lincoln says, comma, it could be as simplistic as that as your tagline. Or you could say, according to Abraham Lincoln in his speech addressed at Gettysburg, he says, right? It could be far more in depth. But bare minimum, we want to go ahead and give that tagline. And then you do your normal quote. And again, I could put Lincoln, although I said Lincoln over here, so that would have been enough. But just to make it easy, I'll go ahead and put it again, and then the page number, and then take it out of the bolded, because that was just to help for the help in regards to clarifying for the assignment. Let me make sure that this is all double spaced. Looks like we're good to go on Mla formatting. So then the next one says, okay, quote the bolded sentence from the speech below and omit a word. So you have to show me that you know how to do the omission. So let's just say, according to Lincoln, we'll have another tagline in there. He states, and because I said his name, this time I'll just put the number instead of both the number and the last name. Take it out of the bold. Now I just need to find something in here that is extra, that's not exactly needed, that I can go ahead and omit. So we are met on a great battlefield of that war. It doesn't have to be on a great battlefield, just that we are met on a battlefield of that war. So the word great is a little superlative. It's not really needed. So because I'm going to take it out, I'm going to omit it. I have to show that I've omitted it. I'm going to use the 3 dots, right, the ellipses. And remember, do not do the ellipses at the beginning or at the end of a quote. It should be somewhere within the quote. Okay, number 3 is asking me to go ahead and do the same thing, except this time now I'm going to add or substitute a word. So, as he states, maybe this time. And then definitely, because I didn't say who he is, I absolutely have to have Lincoln in here. That's who is saying it in page 7, right on the outside. Okay, so for this one now, I want to go ahead and do a change quote, which is I'm going to either insert a word or I'm going to substitute a word. So instead of met, I'm going to go ahead and change that to gathered. We are gathered on a great battlefield of that war. You see how grammatically both of these still make sense, even with me taking something out or swapping something out. Now, because I changed that, I have to show that I changed it. I'm going to use the brackets, as you know. Okay, number 4 is asking you to go ahead and do a long block quote, and this says for all of the sentences. So just again, make sure that you're reading the instructions clearly. So I want to take all of it this time, not just the bolded sentence. When you go ahead and do the block quote, if you can, take it out of the bullet points just so that you can get the right idea about where the margins would be. So he says, again, that's not great. It could be far more descriptive and better, but it's good enough for this practice. I'm going to go ahead and put the quote in there, and then period and Lincoln and the page number. And then, as you know, when you're doing a block quote for my class, you're going to single space it. You also need to indent it an extra ½ inch, and that looks good. So we have our tagline, and then we have the material. You'll notice by copying and pasting, although I'm copying and pasting for a different size, so I'm going to just make sure everything is at 12, so it's all at the right size. Okay, now I'm going to go back and into my bullet points and get into number 5. So number 5 is asking me to, give me 1 second to fix this. Okay, number 5 is asking me to quote the bolded line from the short poem below. And you'll notice that this poem has it has divisions because it has multiple stanzas. This is stanza 1, and this is stanza 2. And it says, take the bolded lines, which is from stanza 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy these again. And this is from Benjamin Franklin, and it's found on page 21. So let's just say Franklin claims, I guess. And it's going to want to do that, don't worry. It's going to want to change your formatting. Just kind of fix it as you go. We want to pop it up there, and this is that's one line, but this is the second line. And I distinguish, as you saw in the explanation, the way that you show one line is different than the next in a poem when you're quoting it is you add that // to say, okay, this is all one line, and then this is a new line because of that /. And you want to make sure that you're keeping that punctuation. Okay, so there we have our quote. And I don't have to say Franklin again, I already said it. It said it was on page 21, but that's not enough information. This has given you more. It has multiple divisions, which is to say it has at least 2 stanzas, and we've taken information from the second stanza. This is stanza 1, this is 2, and then you'll notice the line numbers. This is 5, 6, so that makes this 7 and 8. So we want to show all that information. So it's stanza 2, and it's lines 7 to 8. So that would be the completion of that. And let me take out the bolding. And there you go. So page 21, stanza 2, lines 7 and 8 is what I've taken. Now we're going to go ahead and do 6, the last one on this worksheet, which is asking you to take it from a 1-stanza poem, meaning no divisions. Titled The Fairy Song. It's by William Shakespeare, and it's found on page 64. So again, I'm going to go ahead and take these 2 lines here because it's asked me that. I won't always ask you in particular. I might just say, hey, take something from stanza 2. Either way, just try and follow the instructions as best as possible. So I'm going to copy this to make it easy on myself. Let's see. He describes, he states, I do wander anywhere. His character... let's say Shakespeare's character says, something along those lines is fine. Back it out so it's where it should be. And then I'm showing one line to the next line, so I have to have that /. I don't want to keep end punctuation, so I'm going to take that out. And now I need to provide my in-text citing. So it said it's found on page 64, and it's lines 5 and 6. Again, this doesn't have multiple divisions, so in this instance, because it doesn't have multiple divisions, it's all one stanza, you're simply going to put lines 5 to 6. Oops. And that's it. Let me take out the bolding. And that's that one. Okay, so this is what I would expect you to turn in for this assignment. I want you to create your own document. I do not want you to put it into the original document, please. Okay, so you're going to do MLA formatting, and you're going to create your own document and do the lines as best as possible. It doesn't matter that it might not be perfect. That's okay with me, that they're not all in line or whatever. There are ways to fix this. I'm not doing it right now because I don't want to take the time, but there are ways to fix this so it looks perfect. But if it's not, if it's like this or how I had it a couple of seconds ago, that's fine. I would really like to see this block quote in the right spot so that I know that you know how to do it properly. I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, just feel free to come to office hours.